And welcome to another edition of Digging History. I am your host, James McCormick, and today we have not only Bravo, but we also have my daughter, Cassandra. Now, Cassandra has done some metal detecting, and she's sitting right over here next to Bravo, her best buddy. And let me tell you, Cassandra has done a little metal detecting. She found a Civil War button and a couple of 3-ring bullets, and she's found a pocket knife and just all kinds of really cool stuff. So it's been a lot of fun out metal detecting. So I'd like to have my daughter Cassandra introduce herself. So say hi to everybody, Cassandra. What do you say?
Hey everybody.
And what did it feel like when you dug up that Civil War button?
Okay, so here is the story. So I was just metal detecting with my dad one day. So we were just up at this park, and then I was just digging it up, and I was about to throw it out, and I thought it was a piece of rock. And then I was like, "Hey Dad, what's this?" And then I showed him, and then he was like, "Oh my gosh, you found a Civil War button!"
That was a cool feeling, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
And it was down there pretty deep, wasn't it?
It was.
But we found it, you didn't give up. And it was really cool when I explained to you that the last time somebody probably wore that was over 150 years ago. And you get a chance to not only see history and learn about history, but you got a chance to actually touch it and dig it. So what would you tell people that are some of the fun things that you like to do? I know you go metal detecting with me sometimes, but that's probably not your most favorite hobbies. What are some of the things that you like to do?
Okay, well, I love arts and crafts. I love doing some crafts. I do it almost about every day.
Mm-hmm. You actually made me a bag, didn't you? Mm-hmm. To carry my artifacts and stuff in for Bravo.
Mm-hmm. And then it was like Christmas time, and then I made it for you.
Mm-hmm. Pretty cool, pretty cool. She sewed it all up by herself, folks. It has a strap that goes around my body like this, and it's a really cool thing, and it actually says Bravo on the bag. So she's quite the arts and crafts person. And of course, there's Bravo over there talking a little bit. He's been a little chatty today. And we've been out doing a little bit of digging. You can always tell when he's been out digging because that old nose gets dirty because he likes to dig as well. The reason why that I've got Bravo and Cassandra in here, and then also behind the scenes, we have Preston McCormick, who's 12 years old. He's a 7th grader. That's my son. He's been shooting a lot of the video. Now, he's not going to be on camera because he likes to operate the cameras and stuff. But you're going to see some of his video, and you're going to get to also see a new TikTok channel that's coming up here pretty soon, folks, about digging history, and that's going to be really, really cool. We're going to have the shorts with us and the kids and friends and people that go out digging with us, and it is just going to be an exciting time. So both Preston and Cassandra go to school in Mason County. One goes to New Haven Elementary, one goes to Wahama High School, and we're doing a big shout out to them. The other thing that we like to do with this show is we like to let people know that you know, this is about the library channel, and this is about our libraries and stuff. So we spend a lot of time, or I know I do, and I know that Cassandra does as well, and Preston, in the libraries. We do a lot of reading, a lot of studying. I do a lot of background work on areas that I go in to dig before I go out. What are some of the cool things you can find in the library about history? Not just books, but maps and diagrams, very old maps and diagrams from the areas that we like to go and visit. Bravo, come on over here. And we like to spend time doing a little bit of research and studying before we go anyplace. So digging history is not just about firing up a metal detector and going out in the woods. It's about doing a little bit of research before you go out there. And when you take things like your family, You take, you know, like we have with the service dog here, you know, it takes a little bit of coordination and a lot of study and adherence to safety. You always hear me talk about safety, safety, safety. So as we're getting ready to go out to the field, I want to show you some of the cool things that we found out in the field today. Please remember to check us out on our Facebook page at you know, Digging History, and then also to check out the West Virginia Library channel with some of the other great shows that they show on there all the time as well. So we're excited, and sit back and enjoy some of this footage from the field with your good friends at Digging History. We'll be right back. Okay, Bravo here, and I'm on the trail of Morgan's Raiders. And this, oh my gosh, is a ravine. So supposedly, the Union set a trap for Morgan's Raiders and made them run through these canyons with these steep ravines on both sides. And of course, the Union was on the top, just pounding them. They called it the continuous fight. Pretty neat, pretty neat. All right, folks, not finding anything here except for beauty of terrain. And it sure is gorgeous here. So hopefully, I was kind of hoping to find a few bullets, or I haven't found really. I mean, I found some bullets and stuff, but not what I think would constitute this continuous fight. And so anyways, we'll just keep looking. That's all we can do. So keep watching on Digging History. Okay, folks, so people were asking me, how do you know where to go to find stuff? And my answer is it's generally the roughest places to go, because that's most likely the places where few people have searched, but also it puts you in a position a little bit more in line with, especially if you're running around streams and stuff. You know, they were pretty smart. You know, they didn't just jump in the creek and walk down the creek, you know, especially during the Civil War, the frontier times, you know, whenever people really had people out looking to kill you, they would take places that were generally a little offered cover and concealment. So that's what I look for. I look for areas that offer cover and concealment. Now I think I'm going to cross this creek here and go over onto that side. And there's a reason for that, because I have been on the other side of that hill and found a few things. Now, this water has a lot of iron in it. You can tell that. So some of that is from the mining that occurred here towards, you know, the end of the 19th century and into the 20th century. And a lot of it is just because, you know, there's just a lot of iron content in the soil as well. So that also gives you some ideas on, you know, where to turn your discriminator on at, you know. So I discriminate out a lot of the lower grade iron, and that's what you're going to generally find. Boy, this camera does not give you a good feel of what it's like climbing up these hills. I watch the videos and it looks like it's all level. Well, as you can tell by my breathing, it's not level. So, you know, I look for streams, I look for areas that are a little rougher to navigate, because those are also the areas where modern people especially will not have been and threw their trash down. Believe me, there is a lot of trash. People are trashy, plain and simple. You know, in the frontier days, and they weren't trashy like that. Primarily, they had to police things up. I gotta climb under a log now. As you can see, it's not easy. Go on, Bravo. Yeah, I know, buddy, it's getting dark. All right. Well, I love you too, man, and it's hot. It's Christmas Eve, 2021. And we got to go under another log. This one's a little higher, a little friendlier, especially short guys. That's one advantage to being short. So, anyways, that's kind of how I choose the areas that I look at. And I usually find some cool stuff. Now, this year has not been a particularly good year. Okay, it hasn't. And I usually go out on the 1st. You know, weather will dictate, but hopefully I'll go out on the 1st of January, and that will start season 2022, Lord willing. And I'm blessed to be around for that. I pray that it's a better year. You know, I am a man of faith. So some people that watch my show or not, that's your prerogative. You know, hey, to each their own. But I have found that I find a tremendous amount of peace walking through these woods. And we're just about to the end of this day. Nothing but shotgun shells today, folks. Nothing but shotgun shells. That's okay. I bet I got 10,000 steps in, which that is really good. All right, folks. Keep watching on Digging History, and do me a favor, like, subscribe, and follow us. Most likely that's a piece of junk, and I can tell that because it bounces and it goes from 30 to 60 to, and that usually means there's several different varieties in it, so it's most likely not something pure and not something old. But I'll dig it up. If it's trash, I'll put it in my pocket, take it out of here. So anyway, folks, like, subscribe, and share. And send me an email at wvpurpleheart1863@gmail.com. Let's talk. I'll take you out digging. I'm always interested in looking for new areas to go search. I'll also go and help people find long lost belongings. I don't charge you anything to do that. You know, I just do it because it's a lot of fun, and it's good to do something good for other people. So that's what I do. And but anyways, shoot us an email at wvpurpleheart1863. And remember, you can't find it sitting on the couch, folks. Get out and get to digging. If you need advice on a metal detector, shoot me an email. I found my first piece of a antique firearm. Right there is a hammer. Most definitely a hammer. Wow. I'll clean that up. I think I'm on the trail of Morgan's Raiders. I haven't found any bullets yet, but I'm gonna really hunt this area good. Golly, Neds, isn't that cool? There's a piece of history right there. That's a hammer, man. Pow! How many times did they fire that thing? Morgan's Raiders, Bravo. And there it is, baby. I found the first 3-ring bullet in this area. Now, I gotta see if we can find some others, but this really looks like a possible. This was fired, for sure, fired. And I don't know if it was fired from the top of that hill and it ground down here, or if it was fired from over there at the very tip top of that hill. And that may be the case. This may be the area. All right, folks, keep watching on Digging History. Here's Bravo. He's digging for another one. Good job, boy. Came up as a 56, and it was bouncing, so I wasn't really sure that it was a bullet. I really wasn't. I was a little concerned there. But boy, that's it. Guaranteed that was fired during the continuous battle, the continuous fight, shooting at Morgan's Raiders. Here's one that missed. So, man, they really ramrodded that thing hard. They must have been really, really under fire. Not just don't be any ordinary horseshoe, but very well could be a horseshoe thrown by one of Morgan's Raiders or one of the Union cavalry that was up here. That's a heavy shoe, man, and it's old. So anyways, on the trail, Morgan's Raiders, James McCormick with Digging History and Bravo out here, and we're doing pretty good today. We have found 5 total bullets today, so it's been pretty good. I think we're in the right spot. All right, folks. Horseshoes are supposedly good luck. Let's see if we can find something else. A saber, a buckle, a button. Man, that would be cool. All right, folks. Keep watching on Digging History. Can't find it sitting on the couch. Okay, folks. James McCormick here and Digging History with Bravo. Now, that, my friends, is a ravine. And this area right here would have been an absolute nightmare to have had musketry, shotguns, rocks, everything in the world coming down on top of you. But this is kind of like the terrain that Morgan's Raiders had to navigate through when they were trying to bypass Pomeroy, Ohio. So, look at that. It's just amazing. What do you think, Bravo? It's pretty serious, isn't it? All right, folks, we're gonna get out of here. It's getting dark. Found some cool stuff, you know, a few bullets and that hammer off of that gun. Man, that was really, really, really cool. So, oh, sorry. Trying to do my phone. God. I know this don't look like much, folks, but that hammer looks like it's off of a possibly a shotgun or a pistol, and those are definitely bullets of the period. Could have very well came from one of Morgan's Raiders, 1863. Thanks, Bruce Murphy, for the book, man. it's already paying off, and I've got several sites left to hunt. This site I'll come back to later when I get the Noctamacro Legend in, and I'll take that out and test it out here, because I'm sure that the rest of this shotgun or this pistol is still out there somewhere. Man, that is really cool. Can't find it sitting on the couch, folks. Get out and get to digging. So we hope that you enjoyed some of those scenes from the field. As you can see, we dig in all different types of terrains in all different places. Some of the cool things that we found are not just Civil War artifacts, but also the other things that we find is a lot of trash out in the woods. And as my good daughter can tell you, Cassandra, we carry out all the trash that we find, because we think that picking up litter and helping to leave a place better than it was when we found it is all part of being a professional metal detectorist. So let me just say this. I belong to an organization called the Appalachian Professional Metal Detectors Association. We are a group of metal detectorists that really put the emphasis on professionalism into this hobby. We believe that as a metal detectorist, you have to adhere to all of the rules. Number one, get permission before you go on someone's property. You don't want to go into a place that you're not welcome or you're not supposed to be. Number two, always fill in your holes. Never leave an open hole, even in the middle of the woods, because some hunter might be coming along and may trip and fall in that hole that you've left, and it could actually turn out to be a really bad situation or even a tragedy. So we want to make sure that we're doing that. The other thing, always pick up trash. Make sure that you're carrying a large enough bag so that whenever you are out there metal detecting, you're not just keeping the cool things that you find, but when you dig up those pop tabs, those modern lead bullets, all of those things, take them out of the woods with you and recycle them when possible. Why do we want to do that? You know, lead is one of those things, we remove a lot of lead, and we remove a lot of lead around creeks and streams. During the Civil War especially, there was a tremendous amount of gunfire that occurred along the streams and creeks. Now, lead over a period of time does have the possibility of leaching into water supplies. So we realize that every time we take out a piece of lead, whether it be a modern bullet or a Civil War three-ring bullet, we're removing the potential of a contamination or an issue that could potentially harm the wildlife. You know, the same thing with rusty metal, cans, containers, trash in general that people don't even think about. You know, all of that stuff over a period of time, it breaks down, and then sometimes it breaks down into these components that can go into your water system. So metal detectorists in professional metal detector associations like ours, we preach very hard about removing all trash. We also have approached the West Virginia legislature about creating an opportunity for metal detectorists to go into the West Virginia State Forest and state parks so that we can do digging in these areas. So we can actually do some relic hunting so that we can put relics that we find into local museums, libraries, and into our very own cultural center, which we have donated tons of stuff. And literally, when I say tons, I mean tons of stuff. Lots of bullets, lots of things have went into local historical societies that they would have never found. Some really cool things too, pieces of guns and bullets and cannonballs and you name it, old pieces of bayonets. We have found some really cool things over the years. And we like to make sure that we share it so that the youth like Cassandra and like your children get a chance to see artifacts from that time. And we also teach the youth about how to preserve these things. And why is it important for us to get these things out of the ground and not just allow things to set and leach into water supplies or to become a potential hazard? So remove all your trash. You know, a lot of times when we go into areas, people that give us permission to go into these areas, they ask us to do certain things for them. Like, for instance, during the springtime, we cut a lot of brush, we clear a lot of trails, and we pick up a lot of rocks. A lot of times we'll be digging. We dig up really nice river rocks, and we pile them up and we set them along these trail systems for these property owners. They like us doing that, and they ask us to do that. It's all about treating people with dignity and respect, and they'll let you come back again and again and again. But if you get a chance and you're watching this show, like all of our followers, to please reach out to your local delegate and your local senators and ask them to make professional metal detecting, an actual an opportunity for us to go into the wildlife management areas and state parks in West Virginia by passing this very important bill that will require professional metal detectorists to obtain a license so that we can go into these areas and search. It's going to generate revenue for the state, and I promise you, we're going to clean up a lot of trash that gets left along some of these areas, in these places like the state forest that people like to go. And we get an opportunity to go in there during the off season whenever there's not a lot of tourists there. We can actually set up events like metal detecting events and cleanup events in these areas that will also generate revenue for those local communities and bring metal detecting, a professional hobby, to the state of West Virginia and put those professional metal detectorists in these areas where they're going to do us the most good. So remember, folks, that you cannot find anything, what, Cassandra?
Sitting on the couch.
You can't find anything sitting on the couch, and you sure can't find anything sitting around just talking about it. Please, if you're interested in learning about metal detecting, reach out to us. I get questions all the time. As a matter of fact, I was asked by a guy today when I was picking up Cassandra and Preston from school, asked me about a metal detector. He had watched this show and said, hey, what do you think's a good one to get? And I tell him exactly the ones that I use and what capabilities they have and how much money they cost. So we can also talk to you about how to tune your metal detector, how to fix your metal detector. Maybe you've got one that's been sitting in a closet for years and years and you've never used it and you want to learn how to use it. Come out and go digging with us. But again, folks, remember that a day out metal detecting sure beats a day on the couch anytime, and make sure that you understand that this can be a family event. Get your family, get your kids, get your pets, go out, enjoy the wilderness, and get to digging, folks. Thanks for watching on Digging History. God bless, and we'll see you next time.